Welcome back to Crime Chronicles. Today we take a look at new reporting that proves how weak the Kinahan cartel has become. Like cornered wild animals, senior figures in the cartel are starting to turn on those close to them. Today we take a look at who the Kinahans might throw under the bus to save themselves. Stay tuned as we also look at new reporting showing just how bad the cartel's finances really are. New reporting has been released asking questions about Daniel Kinahan's loyalty to those close to him. Sources have spoken to the media saying that Daniel Kinahan will betray allies to evade justice. The cartel leader's freedom is more important to him than the fate of any of his gang members, and he will do anything to dodge the law, a source said. Wanted drugs cartel chief Daniel Kinahan would do everything in his power to stay out of the clutches of the law, including betraying some of his closest allies. The net is closing in on Dubai-based Kinahan, with both the Irish authorities and America's Drug Enforcement Agency planning to make a move on the gang this year. Republic of Ireland Justice Minister Helen McEntee recently announced that the government is supporting police to bring the leadership of the Kinahan cartel to justice sometime over the next 11 months. Gangland insiders have said that this could spell bad news for Kinahan's close associates, including his right-hand man, Sean McGovern. McGovern, who was shot and injured in the Regency Hotel gun attack that killed another Kinahan mobster, David Byrne, is still in Dubai, but has a European arrest warrant out for him. Daniel Kinahan will do whatever it takes to ensure that he is not the one who will face justice. His freedom is more important to him than the fate of his other gang members, and that includes the likes of Sean McGovern. He would betray them to make sure he stays free. Sources say the DEA has been quietly building a massive case against the Kinahan cartel after US authorities announced crippling sanctions against its leaders 2 years ago, and a bounty of $15 million for information leading to their capture. It is now understood that the DEA hopes to move against the Kinahans soon, and may even do so before the Director of Public Prosecutions in Ireland decides on whether charges should be implemented against its leaders later this year. A source added, "There is no doubt that having the DEA on his back must be a source of major worry for Daniel Kinahan. It's why nothing will be off the table for him now, which could spell bad news for others who work closely with him." In March of 2024, Irish police recommended that Daniel Kinahan be charged over the murder of Jerry the Monk Hutch's brother, Eddie, 8 years ago. The Kinahan cartel leader is one of up to 10 suspects who police have recommended be charged with several offences related to the fatal shooting. Eddie Hutch, a father of 5 from Poplar Row in Ballybough, was gunned down outside his home in Dublin's north inner city on February the 8th of 2016. One line of investigation is that Daniel Kinahan was allegedly caught on CCTV near Eddie Hutch's home in the days before the murder, as tensions threatened to spiral out of control after the Regency Hotel gun attack on February the 5th of 2016. Kinahan was never arrested or interviewed about the murder, but police now believe they have enough evidence to recommend his prosecution in the case. Speaking about the police efforts to tackle the Kinahans, the Irish Prime Minister said, "The Kinahan gang has heaped death and misery on communities across this country. The police have been relentless in their pursuit." He went on to say that he fully supports the police in their work and will continue to support Commissioner Harris to bring the cartel to justice. Other news just issued seems to back up the claims that Daniel Kinahan is in real trouble on several fronts. Reports say that Daniel Kinahan has axed dozens from his cartel payroll, leaving former key associates in real trouble. The mob boss has abandoned dozens of his lackeys and is no longer paying them. Kinahan has cut over 40 associates off the wage bill in Ireland and Spain. Underworld sources say that some of those who faced the axe were one-time key associates, and they are now skint. Some of them are in real trouble and are seriously down on their luck now, a source said. Investigators believe Kinahan, at one stage, had almost 100 people on his payroll in Dublin and on the Costa del Sol, but has now drastically trimmed the number of people he gives money to. The combined action between the Irish Republic and the United States hit the trio and 4 alleged allies with sanctions, which meant their assets were frozen in America, Ireland, and Dubai. As well as the sanctions, America also put up a $5 million bounty on each of the Kinahans' heads, although all 3 are still free men living openly in Dubai. Kinahan is in the police crosshairs for one feud murder, as well as for directing the cartel that bears his name. The cartel recruited dozens of extra people onto its wage bill when it started its campaign of revenge following the Hutch organised crime group's brazen daylight gun attack on the Regency Airport Hotel in February of 2016 that left key ally David Byrne shot dead and saw Daniel Kinahan himself narrowly survive. Part of the cartel's plan for the feud, in which 18 people were murdered between 2015 and 2018, saw the mob paying out thousands of euros each week to people in North Inner City Dublin to bribe them into turning on members of the Hutch gang. But sources now say, following the effective end of the feud and the international crackdown, Kinahan has dumped dozens of his acolytes. He still has a major international crime gang, and that means he has foot soldiers in Ireland, Spain, and even Dubai, most of whom are paid thousands of euros in hard cash every week. But sources say he has ruthlessly dumped others, especially in Ireland and Spain, where much of his drugs and money laundering operations are still headquartered, even though he is in Dubai. Many of those dumped were on the lowest rung of the Kinahan ladder and were simply expendable. They aren't getting any more money out of Daniel. He has reined in the spending. One source revealed that some former key allies of Kinahan, who were in Dublin along with him, also appear to have been dumped. Several of them, the source says, have headed back to Spain, where they were based with Kinahan until he moved to Dubai at the height of the feud in early 2017. Those former key players are now based in the Malaga area, where Kinahan himself used to be based. They are now in dire straits financially, having had their cartel income abruptly cut off. Ironically, Jerry the Monk Hutch, once the number one target for the Kinahan cartel, is spending more and more time in the same area. Hopefully, he spends most of his time looking over his shoulder. The race will now be on to see how many of those Kinahan employees without paychecks start spilling the beans to investigators. The Kinahans are rapidly running out of road. Thank you for joining us today on Crime Chronicles. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel with your friends.